Man, you know, Brother David, he didn't have one wife, he had two wives. After battle, want to go home for a hug, longing to see at least one of the wives. They're both gone. Sons and daughters have gone, captured and taken away. David and the people lifted up their voice and wept. Hallelujah.
My God, my God.
They were broken.
My Lord.
Broken. They cried until there was no more strength left. Anybody know what I'm talking? Have you ever cried when you lost someone, something, and not know what's going to happen now?
My God, my God.
The first time that I've read this many times, but the first time that can I share a little testimony with you?
Yes.
First time that this really grabbed me was in the year 2000. And Sister Cooper and some of you may remember this, and my wife, Sister Yvonne. It was a time when my late wife on the Monday was praying and asking God to help her because a month ago she had been told that she had to have dialysis. She was having it 3 times a week. And at that point, she said, God, I don't want to go through this. And I remember the prayer that morning because she'd be up about 4 in the mornings praying. And I could feel the shaking of the place as she prayed with such fervence. And she said, Lord, I want you to take me out of this. I don't want to live this kind of life, and I don't want the burden on this man. He's yours, and you've called him. You've chosen him. However, the following morning, she ended up in, we had to get her to the hospital. They said she had a heart attack, number of things going on. The following day, they still gave her dialysis. And we were there in this ward. And then suddenly, something went wrong. By the time we came back in, she was surrounded by different consultants and different people. A number of things were happening. It was frightening. It was frightening to see. Have you ever seen someone that you love suffering?
My God, yes.
You know, and I couldn't believe what was happening. And at the time, the doctors are saying, we haven't got the time to move her to a theater. Let's operate right here on the ward.
My God.
And at that time, the Spirit of the Lord said to me, put on the ephod.
Glory, glory, glory.
And I stepped outside from the ward. As I stepped out, I started worshiping. Now, there was about, as Sister Yvonne and myself talked about it a few days ago, there was about 60, 70, if not more, tons of people in the corridors and all around from the church and family members. I come from a very large family. And I heard quietly people saying, oh, I think he's lost it, the stress, the pressure of all of this. He's lost it now. He doesn't know how to respond or react. And, you know, shortly afterwards, I stepped back in to find out what was happening. And they said, we're going to have to operate right here. And they started cutting away. And I'm standing there by her side. They said, Mr. Dawes, you're a very strong man. I said, we'd have it no other way. I stood there while they cut away. And they said, listen, there's no more we can do right now, so we're going to have to take her away. At that point, I sensed that something more had happened, but I stood there and I saw that happen, but I could still hear God saying, put on the ephod.
Yeah, my God.
Amen. You see, so I can understand how David felt when his man and everybody had suddenly turned against him. Hallelujah. All right, the following day, the night, in the morning hours, I got a phone call. Please come to the hospital, come quickly. And anytime you get that in the early hours, you know it's serious. I kind of hung about a little bit because I didn't want to face this by myself. So I called a few family members and told them what was happening. And I took a long route because I was scared. I was petrified. And when I got to the hospital, they said to me, she's gone. Now, how do you live after all of that, knowing that it's like there's something standing there before you and there's no life left? No life left in you. Everything within me had gone at that point. Crying family members around, everybody upset. And I see, and I understood what David was going through, and I had to remember worship. In the midst of everything, in the midst of your pain, the midst of your heartache, you still hear God saying, worship. Worship. My God. Worship. Worship. Hallelujah. On the day of the funeral, I was just lost. And, you know, Bishop Brooks reminded me one day, he said, you remember what you said to me on that day? When you said, Melv, my baby's gone. He said that to me, and I didn't even remember that. And he brought it back to my memory. And the thing is, you've got to realize there's going to be times in your life where there's distress. Hey, hallelujah. There's going to be some hardship. Going to be some pain. And you don't know how you can pull back this whole thing. Now everybody is turning against you. David is turned, his men have turned against him. Now the man that he had nurtured from nothing to somebody have now turned against him. The men who were feeble, hungry, going through all kind of things, broken. But David took them and turned them into giant killers, turned them into warriors, gave them self-value, all of these things. But suddenly, in the anguish, they felt, no, we need to stone this man. The same man that raised them and taught them and nurtured them and mentored them, and turned on him now. 600 men, valiant, strong soldiers against one man. What do you do when everything is up against you and you're up against, your back is up against the wall? Hallelujah. David said, there's only one thing I can do right now. I need to speak to the priest. Glory. I need to get the priest in here now. And I don't want the priest to make intercession for me. I know I've just come back from war, and I know there may be blood on my hands, but I'm taking off the war clothes now. Hallelujah. I'm taking off the war clothes now. I'm taking off the armor. I'm putting down the weaponry, because maybe he had a glimpse of the scripture that said, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down the stronghold. So David said, there's only one thing I can do now. Abiathar, I want you to bring me the ephod. Yes, I don't want you to go before God for me. Hallelujah. There needs to be a time when you don't want nobody else go to God for you. You want to do it for yourself. David said, I want to do it myself. I know you can pray. I know you can intercede, but I need this for myself. It's me and God now. These men are all against me, but I'm going before God. I have an inquiry. I'm going to inquire of God. God, what do I do now? Oh, hallelujah. David, with his old ways, I'm sure he knew just what to do. So David went before God, and it wasn't just a begging bowl. I believe that David went before God and worshiped. Hallelujah. He sang before God. He lifted up God and told God, the Lord is my shepherd. Hallelujah. I shall not want. He said, the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary. Strengthen thee up to Zion. He said, the Lord, the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell. Oh God. He said, I'll worship you, God. I praise your holy name. I honor your holy name. Oh God. He said, oh, I praise the Lord. Oh, bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that's within me. Bless his holy name. He said, his praise shall continually be in my mouth. I'm not going to let anything stop me now. I'm going to praise you, God. And when David praised God, there was a divine response. Something happened. There was a move of God. The men who were bitter, resentful, they were feeling something. Something was happening. When every time there's a divine response, something happens on the earth. Hallelujah to God. Hallelujah to God. Amen. Paul and Silas, when they praised God, there was a divine response. There was a shaking. There was something like an earthquake. Hallelujah. Hallelujah to God. When the church was being threatened in the book of Acts, when they started praying and worshiping God, there was a divine response. Hallelujah. The place where they were, it started to shake. When you start praising God, there's going to be a divine response. David said, now God, I've got your attention. What do I do now? The Lord said, pursue. Oh, glory. David, first of all, he encouraged himself in the Lord. You've got to look back over your life sometimes and think about your testimony and say, God, I remember when you healed my body. I remember when you raised me up. I know you, God, as Jehovah Jireh. I know you, God. So, God, I'm encouraging myself right now. But in the name of the Most High God, I know you're going to do something. I know you're going to change this. What do I do now? He said, right now, you need to pursue. He said, will I catch up with them? Certainly you will. And you're going to overtake them. What about everything they're taken? You're going to recover it. Oh, God. Somebody needs to praise God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So God had to do something